Good morning, friends, and welcome back. I'm Mrs. Gordon, and I'm so glad you are here with me to learn new things. Today, we are going to talk about the desert habitat. Yes, the desert, a very hot and dry place. I would like to create one with you today. So if you have sand on hand or some fake animals that you know that live in the desert, we're even going to talk about some cactuses with shapes today. So grab your materials and let's get started.
Deserts receive very little rainfall, only about 250 milliliters per year. Temperature can also be extreme, changing drastically from day to night. Scorching daytime temperatures can change below freezing nighttime temperatures in some regions. This largely depends on the location of the desert. With their extreme conditions, it's not surprised that plants and animals that live in the desert must have special adaptations that allow them to deal with the lack of water and changing temperatures. Some plants, like cacti, store water in their stems. Other plants develop large root systems and very few leaves, which allows them to gather what little rain does fall in the region. Some species of plants and insects have very short life, living and dying only during periods of rain. That's the different cycles. So I have my habitat. The desert habitat is mostly made of sand. Some of the animals that live there can be snakes. I'm going to place my snake in the sand. I have another different type of snake. There's different types of snakes in the desert. Then we have armadillos. An armadillo is a funny shaped animal, but they can survive in very extreme temperatures and dry heat. And then lizards. Lizards also can survive in very hot temperatures and heat. Now, we talked about a plant that you can mostly see in the desert. Let's put our habitat here. That plant is called cacti. We also call it cactus if it's one. I have different shapes of cactuses. Let's look at these various cacti and see if we can tell which shape they are made of. Remember, cacti store the water that is in the desert. The water is usually from the stems. This is the water source for our animals. Now, when we look at this one, cacti are very pointy. They have many sharp things on their stems. When we look at this one, I see several different shapes. But it looks like this one is mostly made up of a square. So we're going to call this a square cactus. Let's look at this cactus. Now it looks different from the square cactus, but if we look at this shape, it looks mostly like a triangle. It has the 3 sides. This is another water resource in the desert. There is various shapes of cactuses in the desert. Let's look at this one. This one looks oddly shaped. It looks bigger as well. Do you think this cacti holds more water? Maybe. When I look at this shape, it looks more like a pentagon. This is a pentagon-shaped cactus. Let's look at this cactus. It looks similar to the square cacti, but it's a little bit longer. It looks like a rectangle. So this is a rectangle cactus. Do you think it holds a lot of water for our snakes or our lizard or our armadillos to drink? It might. Let's look at this cactus. This cactus looks oddly shaped as well. But if I had to choose a shape, it looks like a trapezoid. Trapezoid cactus. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. Cactus come in different shapes. When I look at this cactus, you might see this one more in the desert. It's very familiar. It looks like an oval. This is the oval-shaped cactus. Then we have this one. It almost looks like a diamond. We also call this a rhombus. Rhombus. It has 4 sides. Do you think this cactus could supply a lot of water? I think so. Let's look at this one. This one almost looks like a circle, but it's shaped like an octagon. An octagon has 8 sides. This looks like it can hold a lot of water. When we look at the shape of our last cactus, it does look like a true circle. So this one is a circle cactus. Do you see the different shapes of our cacti? In the desert, cacti are the main water source for the animals that live there. Remember, a desert can be made of sand. And then you have various types of animals. You may see snakes, armadillos, a lizard. Depending on which region, there could also be camels or other types of insects, depending if they can survive the heat. Let's talk more about deserts. Hope you can make a habitat. You learned about the desert today, and you did such amazing work creating a habitat with me, and then even talked about cactuses with shapes. I hope you learned something about the desert. Grab your nearest adult and tell them what kind of climate it is, what type of animals live there. And until next time, I wish you well.